Hey guys, I'm live again. Second time in a week. Quite good. I normally space these things out a week or a couple of weeks in between. So I'm hoping everything's okay here with the stream. I'm going to double check. Now the reason that I need to double check this is because I don't know if this is a bad move. I really don't know if this is a bad move. But I did decide... I've not updated the thumbnail. I did decide to change the bitrate that I'm uploading in, and I'm trying to upload in 4K. So I should be streaming in 4K right now. I've got no idea how shaky or... I don't know what it's like right now. I'm hoping it's okay. I'm going to double check. I need to double check these things. And this is the problem. This is the problem with YouTube streaming in general. Yeah, it's a little bit shaky. It's interesting seeing this though. Hey Ultra. So it's a little bit shaky as far as the upload rate goes. Yeah, it's buffering a little bit, David. Thanks for letting me know, mate. So this is a test. I just wanted to test this. I'm not sure I can change. Can you change the out? I don't think you can change the output. Or maybe you can. So I'm going to change the bit rate to 10,000. You can do that during a stream. That should hopefully get it under control. Let me know if that's better now. Hopefully that's going to work. I'm hoping. No, it's still stuttering. YouTube has been like this for a while now. There's no option for 4K. Yeah, David. So I thought about that as well, like whether you can actually watch in 4K. And I've put the settings at 4K. It is stuttering though. I can see it myself that it's stuttering. I'll show you what I'm seeing. Now, hopefully you can still hear me right now. This is a bit of a test, but if it comes to it, I'll need to stop and come back on. But what I want to show you right now is see down the bottom here, down the bottom here. Yeah, I'm good, Stephen. I'll fix that just now if that's still an issue. For some reason, that's still in red. Despite the fact I have changed the output back to 10,000. I had it 30,000 there. I wanted to see if it was working okay. It should be working okay in theory because I get like 65 or above upload. Is it still stuttering? If it is, I'll stop the stream and I'll load back up. OBS allowed me to change the stream settings there, but I think it's one of those things that's not applied until you go out and back in. So if that's the case, guys, if you're okay to bear with me, 2 seconds and I'll be back on. But just to show you what's happening in the background here, guys, YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. You experience buffering, sorry. So I'm going to change it to 1080p. You need a 4K display or a PC laptop to view in 4K, David. I'll let you handle that one, David. Yeah, right. Stay with me, guys, for like 2 seconds. So what I'm going to do is drop the output here, and I'll show you in OBS. I'm going to drop the output down to 1080p, and then just load it back up again. So I'll load it up. I'll drop the bit rate to like 7,500, and hopefully this will be good. So stay tuned, guys. I'll be 2 seconds. Just check out my YouTube channel, and I'll be back very, very shortly. Hey guys, so I'm live again. And I'm hoping you guys can see this okay. I'm hoping there's no buffering. And the reason I'm saying this is that I started streaming a few minutes ago, but it was stuttering. It was stuttering quite badly, actually. It was stuttering quite badly. So it was a little bit of a test. And, there's a few of you guys there, Ultra, David Harry, Stephen Wilson were all chatting to me there. And if you're a YouTuber, you're probably aware of this already, but when it comes to going live on YouTube, they'll give you advice on how to set things up and all that, but there's really not much you can do. There's really not much you can do, apart from going live. Is that working now? Let's see if that's working. Right, okay. So it looks right. Okay, so I think YouTube is just connecting me back to the same stream. So yeah, that's all good. So okay, just to summarize what was going on there. When I was streaming the last time, I had an upload rate, a streaming rate of 10,000 kilobits per second or 10 megabytes per second, and YouTube actually advised me to drop down to 4,500 for the health of the stream, which is strange that it wants me to, decrease what I'm uploading or lower the settings down. But that's what it asked me to do. It's not stuttering now you've changed the settings, but it wasn't stuttering towards the end of your previous settings. All right, okay, thanks for letting me know, David. I'm not sure how that works, because I think you can change settings whilst you're streaming, but I don't think, maybe they're not applied right away. Maybe there's a lag of a few minutes to see how it's going. I'm still unsure as to, how that actually works, because I don't know if this is like an internet connection type of thing. I've been meaning to replace my BT router, because I do have a wired connection up to the top, all over the house, but I've got a wired connection up to the top of the house, but the BT router is terrible. I've just been very lazy in upgrading it because I've been buying other equipment, but I need to do that. I think it'll be a more reliable stream. But YouTube's kind of strange there, because I did a couple of speed tests before I came on there, and everything was fine. I was getting like 65, 70, 80 megabytes per second upload. So when I tried 30, I thought that'll be okay. Nope. Even, when I dropped it down, it was still a problem. But David, who's watching, is also a YouTuber. Please do check out his channel. But David will also know what I'm talking about here with regards to all this, in that you can read as many books as you want, read as many tutorials, watch as many videos about this, but the only thing you can really do about YouTube Live to get everything right is to completely frustrate your viewers and test and try it out. I guess in theory, I could set up a test YouTube channel and then do all these different tests with that. I guess that's something else I could do, but I didn't do that. Yeah, hey Daz. Yeah, I am planning to ditch the BT router. What I've done so far is disable the Wi-Fi on it, because it's insecure and it's not fast. The reason I've kind of held back is because I wanted something more powerful, something that can handle more connections, something that's got, I don't know, maybe kind of like 3, 4, 5 gigabit per second upwards bandwidth. But I've kind of limited myself as to what I can actually buy, because I've got a wall rack server, and normal servers, kind of 1U, 2U, 3U, 4U, etc. They're all about 45 centimeters deep. Mine is 15 centimeters. Now, there are a lot of routers that are only, like 12, 13 centimeters width, but it restricts what you can buy. At the professional level, from a router point of view, at the professional level, you really do limit your options from, say, 100 down to like 6. So I need to make a decision as to which one I buy. There's a few that I want, that I like from MikroTik. And there's one from Ubiquiti that I might use as well, but I'll see how we're going. Hey, Mr. Switch. But thanks for staying, guys. I do appreciate you holding the fort whilst I was trying to sort that out. That was really a last minute decision for me to do that there. That was really a last minute decision for me to do that. I just thought, I'll try 4K. I started at 1440p. I was like, I'll just try 4K. Maybe it'll be okay. Nah, it wasn't okay. I'll need to stick to 1080p for a while, I think. And it's not my PC. It's funny because, in a situation like this, and I'll show you my monitor again, just so you can see what I'm looking at. This is my ultra-wide monitor. That's why it's all kind of squashed down right now. But if you look away down here, it's maybe hard to see, but 0.9% CPU. This really isn't, doing anything to push my computer. And I do need to, upgrade my computer and stuff like that. But even my GPU, 8%, the CPU, 9-10% there. So it's not a computer issue. It's definitely not a speed issue either, because, I'm getting like 900 downloads, 60 to 100 uploads. So this is really a YouTube thing. as far as I'm concerned. But anyways, what I was saying earlier was that I am extremely tired today, but I did have a couple of videos to do over the next few days. But the videos I do when I'm tired never end up good. They never do. So here I am. So yeah, I'm looking forward to catching up with you guys. Let me know, one of the things I'd like to ask you all is obviously, have you been spending your money that you don't need to spend, but have you been spending any money on Black Friday? I've picked up a couple of things. A couple of things have arrived. A few things will be arriving at the weekend. I don't know if David Harry's still watching. If he is, there was something I was going to talk to him about. And yes, Mr. Switch, I did return my iPhone. So I published a video about this about 4.5 hours ago. I scheduled it for midday today. So I decided to return the iPhone 12. And Stephen bought an LG OLED. Nice. I mean, I've actually got an LG television with the magic pointer and all that in the remote, and I do like it, but certainly not OLED quality. It's a couple of years, like 2 years old now, I think. So yeah, I published a video earlier on about returning my iPhone 12 mini, and I did make a point in the video because, I don't know, maybe at the back of my mind I just expected this barrage of Apple fanboys turning up to the video and giving me abuse, but I did make a point that I do like the iPhone 12 mini. I do. I think the form factor is amazing. Hey Ultra, I think the form factor is amazing. I love how light it is. I think it's just a sexy little phone. It's just so annoying trying to type on it because the keyboard's so small and the battery life. I mean, I was purposely going between the two phones as well. You know, one because I get WhatsApp. You can see I've got a WhatsApp message there already. I know you know what it's like. You know, if you're a member of a few WhatsApp groups with your friends, you come back one day after 2 hours and there's like 50 messages. But I do use WhatsApp a lot to chat with friends. But despite the fact I was kind of using the phone when I was out for calls and texts and, you know, messing about it all the time, the battery life was still, you know, it was going down faster than this one was, and I was using this more. So I don't think it's buffering. It looks fine to me. Stream health should be okay. In fact, it says that stream health is excellent. I've got the thumbs up from YouTube. So yes, because of that, Mr. Switch, that's why I added iPhone 12 to the live stream title, because I knew some people would ask about it. So Daz is saying, Blink Outdoor Cameras, knew they'd be on promo on Black Friday. It's an Amazon company after all. I looked at a few of them, Daz, before. I really do want to start getting some cameras about the house from a security point of view. Even just, you know, for the back of the house and, you know, seeing if anything ever happens to your car or anything like that. I've looked at a lot of different options, and you kind of go down this rabbit hole of making comparisons and then go, well, I'll spend a little bit extra on getting this one. And before you know it, you went from those £25 cheapo cameras to like the £200 Ring cameras, you know, with 3-year subscriptions. I guess if you break it down, that seems to be the biggest difference between some of the cameras on the market. Obviously, you've got the kind of networking side ones, ubiquity ones and all that. And then those ones, was it Roland or something, that go to the CCTV style recorders, PVRs. But for, you know, at a consumer level, at a kind of sub £100 levels, I guess the biggest thing about those ones is that they all want to tie you into a hosted camera system. And what put me off that was that a lot of them don't give you any option to record yourself, which could theoretically be a problem. I saw a lot, and maybe this is scaremongering, but I did see a lot of articles about how there's devices out there where they can just block the Wi-Fi and then those cameras don't work. And I don't think that would be very hard to do that. So I don't know. I'll need to look into it more. It's not my top priority right now. Oh, it was just you, Ultra. What smartwatch did you get, Mr. Switch? I can show you what I've got soon as well. So on Saturday, I've got an Amazon monitor arm coming. You know, the official Amazon monitor arm. I've had a lot of things on my Amazon wish list for a few months, and I put a lot of things on there that basically weren't essential, as in, if I get it now, a month from now, a year from now, doesn't really matter. But the Amazon monitor arm was there, and I might end up getting 2 or possibly even 3 at one point if I use one to hold a laptop. But they're about £105. Now that is a lot more expensive than other monitor arms out there, but I was looking for something a little bit better and something that I buy once and then that's it. But I saw it was in Amazon warehouse, and because of the 30% off deal, I could get it for 63. So I said it's a little bit scraped. As long as all the screws and all that are there, I'll be happy. So that's one of the things I've bought. Also, I have Neos smart cams. They're cheap but still good. The more expensive Blink ones, good if you want a battery power cam. I saw a few of those, Daz. Some of them say that you get like 1 year battery life and all that. I like the idea of that you don't have to start running, like PoE Ethernet cables, and, well, not, obviously all Ethernet cables now are PoE, but you don't have to power those cables to the cameras. You just stick a battery in it. I've saw some as well that you can buy accessories that makes it solar powered. Huawei GT2e. Right, okay. Well, the last year when I got the Huawei P30, I got the Huawei GT, but I gave it to my brother because I've got my Garmin watch and that's kind of the one I use all the time. Oh, that looks nice. That does look nice. So, how does anyone have an Android smartwatch right now? The reason I'm asking, I had an Asus or Asus smartwatch at the start. So I think it was like the second or third kind of major Android smartwatch that was out. There I am. I think I had the second or third kind of Android smartwatch out, and it was like you had to charge it every day or two, and the software was kind of slow and sluggish. I'm assuming it's a lot better now. Oh, thanks for clarifying, Daz. The Blink and Neos ones both have an option to record to... I'm going to check that out. Record to the micro SD card. Only be wearing it 12 hours. Oh, right, okay. So was it £100? Is that how much, or was it cheaper than that? You'll be lucky to get more than 6 months out of batteries in busy areas, but still 6 months and a couple of lithium AAs isn't too expensive. Yeah, that's not too bad. I would agree. I'm going to see if I can see some of those. So is this the one you're talking about, Daz? Is it the all-new Blink outdoor wireless one, or is it the Blink Mini? The Blink XT? Yeah, those ones seem to be down. Well, they've got packs as well. Must admit, that's quite tempting. £50 for 2 indoor cameras does seem quite cheap. Yeah. TicWatch Mark 1. Right, I'll check that out as well. Never heard of that. Wear OS. I think when I had it, it wasn't even called Wear OS. It was called Android Smart OS, or I can't remember what it was called. It wasn't called Wear OS. They rebranded it. Up to 48 hours active battery life. I'd still like it to get to the kind of week mark, if I'm honest, but it's a lot better than it was. Pretty good features, right enough. IP67. The only thing I would say about kind of Android smartwatches is that I don't think I want notifications all the time. I don't think, like constant buzzing in my watch, because I remember that was something, like I've got it in my Garmin watch that you can vibrate whenever you get some things, messages and all that, but I just switched it off. The Blink one records to a USB stick through its sync module, so you don't have to pay for cloud storage. Got a pair of outdoor ones for £110. So you got the... oh, right, okay. So you get this one, the all new Blink Outdoor. It's wireless. So how do these ones connect? Is this like a couple of Phillips screws that you have to screw into the wood or something? Because that's the one thing I'd say about all these kind of outdoor camera systems, it's that they've really simplified it and they've made it more user-friendly. Because I remember even when the initial Ring ones came out and the initial, like doorbells and cameras and that came out, they were all like you had to get a professional in to drill into your house and set everything up. But I think they've got a lot of solutions now that just make it simpler, like you stick it on and things. Got a couple of Blink Minis that are similar to the Neos ones, right? I should really try try those out. It's one of those things. I don't think it's something that I could really extensively show on my channel, though. If I'm, it's not like I want lots of footage of my house and my, where I live online, just from a privacy point of view. It was different when I lived alone, but now that I'm married and I'm living with someone else, it feels a bit weird to show where we live to everyone else. GTE to E, 14 days apparently. Oh, that's pretty good. I thought, like, my Garmin watch is, I think if you've got the GPS on, you'll get like 10 hours or something, so it's like ultra runners and all that. But if you don't use GPS, if you're not actually using it, I think you get like a week or two. Even when someone sends a pic on WhatsApp, it pops up on your watch. You don't always want that. Agreed. Blink outdoor cams have a simple mounting bracket. Downside is it can easily be removed. Well, what I thought was, if I did have something like that, I would try and like reach out a window and just position it somewhere, hopefully somewhere where it doesn't fall, and do it that way, where it's like I'll reach out a window and make sure it doesn't fall down or something like that. I mean, that's I'm guessing that's how I would do it. I've really not looked into it. Steven saying TicWatch has 2 screens, has a low-powered one, an STD LCD overlaid, hoping to get the Pro 3 for my Asus off the missus. So I don't think I checked that one out, Steven, the TicWatch Pro. I assume it's on the... Right, so it will be on the same website. Oh, that's nice. I mean, this is something that I would like to kind of cover more on my channel, as far as watches and stuff. But I'll admit something. Like, over the last few years, I've been out a lot, and I've did lots of videos outside, when reviewing action cameras and microphones and different things. But it's such a pain doing that. And it's not that I don't want to leave the house or anything weird like that. It's just whenever you go out and you start recording footage of your watch when you're out and things like that, it's just the audio gets messed up with wind, and then cars are driving by and all that, and before you know it, something that should have only taken 1 hour, you're out for 4 or 5 hours, and you're like, ah. So I've been trying to focus more on things that I review in the house, but I would like to review smartwatches and things like that. I think it's something that maybe there's not enough coverage of. Certainly, like detailed product reviews. DC Runner, obviously the sports guy, he's really good. He looks at it a lot. It's a really nice watch though, I like that. I mean, you can see how different you can make it. 45 days in essential mode. This has completely missed me. I mean, this has not been on my radar. It really hasn't. I think the low power mode looks really nice as well. So, say in essential mode, are you still getting like steps and all that tracked, or is that just really limiting what you're doing? The only thing I would say is that you kind of tie yourself into the one ecosystem. And I've got like 6-7 years of reports on Garmin, things that I used to record and all that. But that does look good. And Garmin, their stuff's optimized for running and things like that, and it's great, but then for other stuff, it's maybe not so good. Up Tinto. Yeah, up Tinto Hill. Is this that in Scotland? If someone knocks on your door and they say, I need the loo, do you legally have to say yes? That has to be one of the strangest questions I've had on my channel. So if someone comes to your door needing a number 2, do you have to... No, I don't think that's a rule. Maybe it should be a rule, I don't know. Yeah, that's a bit bizarre. Why does that just go from... Right, okay, nothing essential. I noticed WhatsApp had went from like 1 chat to like 4 or 5 chats. I'm like, has something happened? No, it's just people talking crap during the day. So some other things that I picked up from the Amazon warehouse. I have bought a power delivery plug and quite a nice thick cable. This was only £12 for the kit. And they put this big ugly Amazon warehouse sticker on it, which I've now removed. Obviously, I've sent my iPhone back, but I still have an iPad. I've got the iPad Pro there. So this was something that I tried to point out quite a few times when I did the unboxing and all that of the iPhone 12 mini. The cable that Apple give you is absolutely terrible. It's just the thinnest, cheapest, crappiest, just worst cable you could get. It's not long. This is quite a long one, actually. This is 2 meters. It's not durable. It's not thick. This is better, and it was 12 quid in the Amazon sales. So I'll use it at one point, so I've still got my iPad. So I bought that, and what else I've got is this, which I'll show you in a second. I'd have a TicWatch Pro again, but only the latest version with better chip and more memory. It can be really slow otherwise. That was my experience, Dad, with the Asus one. In fact, I'll see if I can find the Asus one that I had, because I can't remember it, the actual name of it. Asus Zen Watch. Yeah, it was the Asus or the Asus Zen Watch, whatever that is. I never know if it's Asus or Asus. I've heard it being said many different ways. So the good thing is I can Google myself when I'm doing a live stream. So this is the watch I had a few years ago. It was this one with like a leather strap. It looked quite nice, but you can see that was 2015 I had that one. So I went from that, and then once I got the Garmin watch, I thought, I don't really need it. But the battery life was quite bad. I thought it was a really nice watch, like looking wise. It was quite comfortable to wear and all that, but I thought it was quite restrictive. As far as battery life. It was like, if I remember right, I charged it, and it was like the next day, maybe 30 hours later or something like that, I had to charge it again. But it was quite slow. Like you saying there that it was quite slow. That's what I remember about that watch as well. It was very sluggish at times. And then you find yourself only using it as a watch because all the smart features are slow. So when you're only using it as a watch, why even have it? Do you know what I mean? Because it sits there and not charged all the time. Apparently that's a law in Scotland. Well, it's new to me. The essential mode is good for battery, but it defeats the objective of having a nice smartwatch display on all the time, as it's very basic. It's good. No, I can see the point of it though. I think it's good that it's here, because what it means is, well, I'm just thinking out loud, but I've just realised my Raspberry Pi is switched on because I had plugged in. I think it's good because it means that if you're around, your house and you're working and all that, you charge it every 2 days like you would normally, and you get it charged up and you use it at work and all that. But then you go on holiday for a week and you don't need to use the smart notifications and all that. You put it onto essential mode. I'd actually prefer to just have it in the middle though, and just have 7 days of battery life all the time. But I don't know. What's the battery life of the new iWatch and all that? Is that about the same, about 2-3 days? Yeah, Mr. Switch. This was 30. Basically, I've bought 5 things in the 30% off sale. So the thing that I was actually going to review today when I realised I was tired is this. The Video Mic NTG. So, not always the most exciting things to talk about microphones, but this is something I wanted. This came out last year. I think it was last year. And it's a really good microphone. You can use with your phone, with your camera. You can actually just plug it into your laptop as well, and just use it as a microphone as well. So that's quite handy if you're, for example, if I'm traveling, I can take this with me and put it on the camera and then just plug it into the laptop as well. So this retails about $215. It's not. This was never too expensive where I thought, it's too expensive to get, but it was not essential either, so I put it on my wish list. But with the 30% off, and this looks, perfect. There was one that was used, but this was like the used like new, so I think someone's opened it and put it back in the box. But this was $150, so I saved $65. But even if I replace it in a few years, I should get most of my money back. So I've got that as well, and there's a capture card coming as well. Hi David, do you go to Edinburgh much? Well, all the time. I live there. I live in Edinburgh now. I moved up to Edinburgh. So the other thing So the other thing that I got, I was hoping David Harry was still on because I was chatting to him. I was chatting to David about this on his channel about this, so I was hoping that he was there for me to talk about that. But the other thing that I bought was a purchase that I bought was a capture card. So this is something that might interest you as well, Mr. Switch. In fact, I'll find it for you. Oh, is it out of sale now? Is it out of sale? Okay, never mind. It's out of sale now. There was a used version there as well, but that's probably gone now as well. I think it is. Yes. So this is kind of where it from yourself, David. So this is the other thing that I bought, the 4K 60 Pro, the Mark II. This was down to £150. Now you'll still get this on hold on, 4K 60 Pro. This is down in like curries and things like that as well. So, oh, Maradona's died. Oh, that's terrible. So there's the 4K 60. It's down to £150. This used to be like £250, £215, £220. So that's down to £150 now. But Mr. Switch, this is a video capture card, as in you can record games or you can record from your camera. It's pretty good, but the good thing about it is it goes into your PC. You can put in an X4, an X8, or an X16, X4 minimum. But you can use that to record footage from your camera. So for yourself, with a YouTube channel now, that's maybe something you want to look into because it's one of the best ones you could get at a consumer level before you go into their kind of Blackmagic Magewell professional gear. Oh man, that's gutting. Oh man. Oh man, that's terrible. What a legend. Yeah. Southern England, so the enemy. Nah, don't be silly, David. My wife's English, so I wouldn't get very far if I hated English. I'd get thrown out the house. I remember, like, so a few years ago, I spent a couple of months, I think a month or two in Argentina. I was backpacking through South America for a year. And my friend that was traveling, I was traveling with my ex-girlfriend and my friend Sean, who's from Derby, so he was English. And it was funny though, because obviously all the Argentine people just loved Diego Maradona, and all over South America, they loved Diego Maradona. And it was just winding him up all the time because they kept going on about it. And we went to like Boca Juniors, we went to their stadium and all that as well. Yeah, it was just, he just got abused for it all. He took it well, right enough, but he was just laughing about it, going like, I don't like him, I don't like him. But yeah, that's sad news. That's really sad news. He was a great guy. Actually, I watched. I didn't finish it, but he had a documentary on Netflix. You may want to check it out. There's a documentary about Maradona in Mexico, where he came on as the manager within the last year or two, and I think it was like 8 episodes, and I got to like the 4th episode, and then you know what it's like in Netflix. You start watching something else, and then you get caught up in that, and then you stop watching it. Yeah. I'll see if I can find a good picture that shows you that. I feel bad now, guys. I feel bad. I feel evil if I start trying to change the topic now. Do you know what I mean? I mean, Maradona's just died, and I'm talking about technology. It just doesn't feel appropriate. I'll see if I can find a good photo. Can I find a good photo? Nah, can't find it. I was looking for a particular photo that I had. Well, it was a couple of photos that was about my story about Argentina, but never mind. No, it's okay, Mr. Switch, not at all. Buying this T-Bill book MN278. Oh, Ryzen 20. So is that a laptop? NVMe mini PC from Banggood. How much was that? How much was that, Mr. Switch? It was a little mini PC. Oh, in fact, I'll Google it just now. I'm still trying to find that photo, but for the life of me, I can't find it. Cannot find that for... never mind. I'll never find that. It's the sort of thing you can't do live. Hi, 9 and all. Do you use your Raspberry Pi for projects, Kev? No, but I plan to. So I've been really bad with that, and that's something that I really wanted to get sorted. There's a lot of things that I need to that I want to try and get sorted. So what I'll do actually. So what Daz is referring to, if I can get it, is my Raspberry Pi, which because it's plugged in, I can't pull it all the way over, but it's there. This is the Raspberry Pi here, and yeah, it's great. I mean, I guess the only criticism I've got of it is the keyboard is okay, but it's not as good as like a regular chiclet style keyboard. It's quite annoying to type on, but I wouldn't be spending all day writing on that anyway. It'd be more like entering code and stuff like that, so it wouldn't be a problem. I've not actually done anything with it yet, though. I've not done anything with it yet. I'm trying to find a project for it, so I don't know whether to just keep it set up as somewhere where I mess about with Linux, or maybe I put some sort of monitoring tool onto my network. That was my initial thought, that I tie it into my network and I can, you can download different scripts, different operating systems where you can manage the upload and the download speeds of your internet. But if I was getting access points or a router like from Ubiquiti and all that, you get a dashboard with all those stats anyway, so I'm not sure I would use it for that. I think the most obvious thing that I'm thinking about doing is just putting lots of keyboard-based consoles on it, like computer games, like Commodore 64, Atari ST, Amiga 500 and whatnot. But I don't know. I mean, a lot of the projects I thought about doing with the Raspberry Pi, I'm leaning towards getting the Zero W, but I need to actually, look into that. Mr. Switch, £190. That seems really good for a 2700U. Yeah, that sounds like specs wise anyway. I mean, I don't know what it looks like of that, but specs wise, that looks really, really good. 256 gigabyte NVMe. The mini PC that I looked at it wasn't an well, it was eMMC, that kind of hybrid micro SD card, solid state drive type of storage. I don't know what you call it, but you've dedicated one to just the RetroPie gaming system and currently writing a 32 gigabyte to emulate an Amiga. Oh, nice. I need to do the same. I really do need to do something similar to that. Maybe that's what I'll end up using for that and just set it up so that, it's the Commodore and the Amiga, and then I can go and explore all these older games. Tech Tablets reviewed it well. Ah, nice. Chris is great at what he does. He's really good. Yeah, I think as far as YouTubers go, he's certainly up there with one of the best when it comes to reviewing products, just because of how thorough he is with different things and how detailed he goes into. Plus, he reviews a lot of obscure items. So this one here, 200. So you paid 180. It looks like, I think that's the one you're talking about, isn't it? See, that would be good for a little. I mean, if that's got gigabit Ethernet, you could actually use that as a router. You could theoretically use that as a router. Have you considered getting an FPGA? I did a couple of years ago for cryptocurrency, but it's not something I've had a need to get one. I was still trying to find it. There's one picture I found of me in Boca Juniors Stadium. That was years ago. No, like what type of FPGA are you talking about? Like a general computing FPGA? Or So for those of you who don't know, an FPGA, I guess the simplest way to explain it would be, and I'm not an expert on this by any means, but it's basically, I guess it's not normally a system on a chip, kind of like the Apple M1, where it's dedicated to doing one thing, but it does that one thing very well. And I remember I spoke to some people about it, and the way that they explained it to us was like a graphics card, for example, like a regular 20 or 30 series or AMD graphics card. Those are general purpose, and they can be used for gaming, they can be used for processing, they can be used for video streaming, for, video editing and all that. But there's FPGAs where they're tweaked and designed in such a way where they're perhaps terrible at gaming, or they're perhaps terrible at other things, but they're 100% better at video editing or whatever application. So they're all designed to be focused to be amazing at one thing, but because of that, they're less general purpose and, perhaps not as good as an overall general GPU or whatever. That's a very basic way of understanding it, but I think certainly in the crypto world, that's how it kind of made sense to me. With emulation in mind, yeah, a chip that can be programmed to become any chip CPU. But I think the point of it, David, is it not that it's basically streamlined to do one thing and one thing only? So it's kind of modified hardware and software to just be optimized for doing one thing. So for example, me as a YouTuber, if I'm doing lots of encoding, I could get an FPGA that just does all that work, all that encoding, but it wouldn't be good at gaming or whatever. Fully programmable gate array. The latest ZX Spectrum Next, which is FPGA based rather than emulation. I remember looking at that. The last Spectrum thing I saw looked amazing, but it was also like twice the price of the original Spectrum, if I remember right. It was quite expensive. I'm trying to find the one that I was talking about. So is it the Next? The Next is. Maybe that's the one I'm talking about. I remember coming across it. Yeah, this is the one. Yeah, you're right. This is the one I was talking about. So this is like a premium Spectrum. And it looks fantastic. How much is this one then? £300. £300 for a Spectrum? Oh my God. But it's not a Spectrum inside, I understand that. Feel like you're 12 years old again. I want to see the specs. A ZA on FPGA, normal and turbo modes. So how does this, I've actually not watched any videos about this. How does this recreate the Spectrum? Is this emulating the original Spectrum like 100%? It might be cheaper elsewhere, David. This is just, I think this is the official website, so maybe that's why it's that price. It's got an SD card slot as well. It's got PS2 mouse port. So is the idea you just put every Spectrum game ever on it? Is that what a lot of people will be doing? It's VGA, RGB, or HDMI. Does seem expensive though, doesn't it? Does seem expensive. I think the Spectrum doesn't hold the same nostalgia for me as it does for other people, simply because I never had one when I was younger. So I did want one, and it's the weird thing is I wanted one despite knowing that it wasn't as good, because we were one of the first to ever get a Commodore 64. Like among my friends, our Commodore 16 died, and then I think my dad got the money for it and put it towards the new Commodore 64. But I remember like for 3-4 years, no one around me had a Commodore 64. There was like one guy who had it. So I wasn't swapping games with everyone. And I just completely felt left out of school when all my friends were swapping Amstrad in Spectrum games. So I was like, I want an Amstrad with a green screen, or I want a Spectrum, despite the fact the Commodore had better graphics. But I never had one. Felt bad. That's just the psychology of being a kid and feeling left out. But yeah, I remember like my big cousins were, I think like there was 3 of them, but like one of them was like 10 years older than us. And I remember when I went to their house, I must have only been 7 or 8, but they were going to university and all that. And they had a Spectrum and they were sitting programming on it and playing games on it and doing all this other stuff on it. Emulates hardware. ZAE ULA. Also has extended modes, 256 colors and hardware scrolling. It does look nice as far as the consoles go, that, you know, the kind of re-released consoles go. It looks really nice. And that's the thing, you know, I'm all for computers and consoles being re-released and they look identical to what they were before, but there is a good argument as well. Why not improve what was there before, make it a little bit nicer? And certainly, you know, that looks like a better keyboard, it looks like a better system. They've still got the Spectrum colours at the side. Looks nice, it's just, I'll be honest though, at that price range, this is not something I'll be going for. Because I just don't, it doesn't hold that the same nostalgic value as, you know, other consoles did and other computers did. Me and my bro had a Commodore 60 plus 4. 64, I assume that was the plus key. It's the second generation. We're not due to be out until next August, I think. In enhanced mode, so some new Spectrum games are in development. They're going to develop new Spectrum games. That's brilliant. I know this does exist as far. I've seen it with the Nintendo Entertainment. Like, I was going to say the Nintendo NES, but that'd be the Nintendo Entertainment System. But I've seen it with the NES, where people went back and developed original games for the NES, and they've learned to get so much more out of the, you know, the 8-bit technology. Hey Di, good to see you. Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm tired today, right enough, but I'm doing good. So I'll kind of rewind and I'll talk about what I was talking about earlier. Yeah, the ZX Spectrum. So what I touched upon now, this might interest some of you guys, but this is what I was investigating today. One of the best FPGAs is the Mr. Powerful, and used a lot to emulate all computers, consoles up to, say, Dreamcast. Ah, nice. Dreamcast was a great console. Yeah, so I'm down a rabbit hole today looking at lots of different things. I must have spent an hour or two investigating this. And what I've been looking at over the last few days was what's available on the market as far as Thunderbolt 3 to PCI Express expansion. Now, if you've ever built a PC, you're probably aware of this, but it's quite limiting as to what you can actually put into your computer. You've got an X16, you've got an X8, you've got an X6. Sometimes there's a few X1s. If you go up to one of the kind of higher end motherboards, you could maybe get 4 or 5 X16s, but you know, you've got the new GPUs, the 30Cs, was it the 3090? That's like 3 GPU slots, so it covers half of them. So from my point of view, I think I've got a graphics card in mine, which covers 2 slots effectively. I've got a Thunderbolt adapter, I've got a wireless adapter, and I've got basically a hard drive adapter to add an SSD, which I'll need to replace because I'm going to put in that capture card. But what I had an idea of doing was adding additional capture cards because that one's on sale, but I don't have the space for it. So if I had to do that, if I had to buy more of those PCI Express based video capture cards, I'd have to go out and buy a behemoth of a PC, of a motherboard bundle, and it becomes very expensive to do that. So I started looking at Thunderbolt 3 chassis, where you get a PCI Express card and you put it into a chassis. Basically, it's like an eGPU, but they're not cheap. Like, even for a single card one, some of them are like £300. And the one that I found that I thought that would be great, it was like 900. I'm like, right, at that point, I'm as well just buying the Pro gear. No worries, Mr. Switch. No worries, Mr. Switch. What's the Spectrum? Do you want to answer that one, guys? The Spectrum was a very popular computer, which was developed by the good old Clive Sinclair back in, 1980, 81? It was a very low-cost computer, and basically it was adopted by the nation as a way to play games, but people programmed and did other things with it as well. So yeah, I looked into, I'll show you what I was looking into. 3 to PCI. So I'll give you an example, not Sonnet. So Sonnet are a company, OWC are another company that do these kind of things. And you'll see all these kind of chassis where, you know, this is one of them, the expansion one, this one here. You'll see these PCI card expansion systems. Now, with Thunderbolt 3, it's 40 gigabits. So what are you talking there? 40, what are we talking? 40 gigabits. I can't do maths right now. 8 megabytes per second. Is that right? Yeah. So with these systems, you're kind of limited with the Thunderbolt 3 bandwidth. But the important thing to remember is with a lot of PCI Express interfaces, you don't actually need a lot. And that's the thing, you know, this capture card, it requires an X4, which is like 4 gigabits per second, but it only uses 140 megabytes per second or something like that. So a lot of interfaces, audio interfaces, networking interfaces don't actually need the full bandwidth of a PCI Express slot. So there's a lot of situations where you could use something like that and just attach it to your computer with a Thunderbolt 3 chassis. So this is something I'm probably going to look into the future. I think it's something I'll probably add to my setup in the future. But it ain't cheap. It really ain't cheap. It really ain't cheap. Hey Ed, good to see you. 1982, I was so close, David, so close. Hey Ed, yeah, I'm good, mate. Yeah, we were talking about it there. Ultra let us know. Sad news. I actually saw someone in one of those. I don't think it was, but you remember Sinclair came out with that really weird, bizarre 3-wheel car thing. I saw a guy driving by. There's like a bike path close to me that's like an old train line, but it's converted to a bike path. And I saw a guy, like he must have been about 55, 60, driving by in it. And it looked like a Sinclair, was it C5 or something? Was that the C5? Is that the wee car? Was it the C5 it was car? I need to Google that. Yeah, but it looked like, so it looked like this. It might have actually been like this, and it might have been like a modified version of this. Actually looks very like what he was driving by, and I think he'd modded it a little bit with the colours and changed it, like, you know, obviously this guy enjoyed it. But he was driving by, so there's, you know, that path's quite popular with walkers, dog walkers, runners, cyclists, and this guy drove by. But the reason it grabbed my attention was the guy had like a stereo blazing out it, playing this cheesy 70s music on it. And he just didn't care. Just a total eccentric old guy, just did not care. Fair play to him. He didn't, you know, he was just enjoying himself driving about in it. But I don't even know how much these things cost now. There's a C5 club. So I'm 41 years old, right? Full disclosure, that's how old I am. That's how I've got these wrinkles. But going by what a few of you guys are saying in the comments, you are maybe a couple of years older, maybe some of you. I know Ultra's quite young. Ed's, you're like 20s, in your 20s, aren't you, Ed? Maybe Di is as well. But I know some of you when you're talking about the Spectrum and the Commodore, it sounds like you're maybe 45, 50, that kind of age. 48, right. I'm not too far behind you guys. But yeah, the reason I'm asking this is, what was the C5 like when it came out? Was it something everyone wanted? Was it something that people ridiculed? You know, I think with a lot of stuff, at the time, people might view it a particular way, and then later on, people change their opinion of it, and I don't know. Well, Di's 44. I didn't know you were 44, Di, sorry. I don't know why I thought you were younger. 21 in your dreams, 49, right? Yeah, so you're all like 7, 8 years older. Yeah, it's weird though that people come out with products like that and they're ahead of their time. What's this? Hold on there. Sorry, I'm talking. I shouldn't be jumping off on a tangent, but I just saw. I'm not saying that I read the Daily Mail, guys. I don't like this newspaper or this website. But I just saw this. Pimp My Sinclair C5. I saw this. This is the picture that grabbed my attention. See if I can get this. See if I can get this higher. What's going on here? What is going on here? That's tremendous. Yeah, that's nice. I don't know what the guy was thinking. That's pretty, and that does look fun. Hi, Kirst. Am I good? Hello, are you good with PS4s? What was the question, Kirst? Have you got a problem with your hard drive? The C5 isn't good to drive on the road. It's better to mess about in privately. Right. Is it straight legal then? Is it legal to drive? The C5 car. I'll leave a link to this article, by the way, if he's wanting to read it. The C5 is something to laugh at. I don't remember seeing anyone back in the day though. Oh, right. This is quite interesting. Right, let's check this out. So this guy Colin, he's beefed it up. So the original, if you look on the right hand side here, the original was £400, 399, 15 miles per hour, electricity and pedal power. Only 17,000 sold. Wow. Overheated on uphill turns. Battery life was troubled by cold weather. Pedal assisted power was needed, and even minor gradients. So this guy's got £1,000 in modifications. They can up to 40 miles per hour. Powered by petrol. He's got the frame of a 1980s Honda motorbike. And he's got monster truck style tyres. Oh, Colin Furze. I didn't realise it was Colin Furze. Right, so for those of you who don't know, this guy's a YouTuber. He's brilliant. He's got a fantastic YouTube channel. I didn't realise it was him there. I've not caught that video. I've seen a lot of his videos as well. This guy's a fantastic YouTuber. He does all these experiments and he creates all this stuff. He's like an engineer and technician and everything rolled into one. He's quite entertaining. That guy invests loads. All right, sorry, Dai, I was way behind you. I remember being as a bit of a gimmick. Thinking now, though, about electric scooters and Segway. Yeah, Segway seems to be something that people hire on holiday and stuff now. Hope you're good. The PS4 beeps twice and no lights. I think it's got to do with the PSU. Looked online to see if there's some sort of error, but nothing comes up. What I would say to anyone who gets any problem with the PS4 or any games console in general, try and boot into safe mode. And the reason being that, like, modern games consoles are different from older games consoles where you could basically sit and flick the power. Not that I'm saying that you should do this, but you could pretty much flick an old Nintendo entertainment system, old Master System, just put the power on and off constantly. But essentially, you know, from the PlayStation 3 onwards, probably, basically they're mini computers now with a hard drive. And if the console, the PS4, the PS5 or whatever is writing to disk, then you're going to run into problems if it shuts down earlier. Now, that was a problem with the PS4 because whenever you went into rest mode, if you then switched off at the mains, it could have been writing to disk in the background, like updating files and stuff. So I'll leave a link to this. I'll leave a link to this for you, Kirst. Check this out. But what I would do is put into safe mode. And the reason is you can scan your system and you can do some checks to see what's working. What normally happens in this kind of situation, though, is if you can't get it working in safe mode, you'd really want to take your hard drive out of the PS4. It's basically like lift up the chassis, one screw off, one big screw, put it into a 2.5 inch enclosure. This is the one that I've got. Connected to the computer, you can scan for bad sectors. But at that stage, you might have to reset the hard drive, reset it, reinstall the software. If that doesn't work, new hard drive time. It really is, unfortunately. I remember seeing a guy on the road in one. We had to get a coach from our school to college for computer classes, and we all spotted the brave geezer in one. Mad. So I get the impression, I mean, £400 was a lot of money back in 1980. When did that come out? 1980. When did that come out? Does it say actually? 1985. Yeah, I mean, £400 in 1985 was a lot of money. Hi, Lewis. Yeah, you never make the live streams. You always turn up later and watch, read the comments and stuff. I do recall you being in a live stream once, Lewis. How's things? Were you not in Scandinavia or something? No worries, Stephen. Thanks for dropping by. Thanks, mate. I really didn't have a lot to talk about today. I thought I'd just turn on the camera and just start chatting. I think that's generally a better way to do live streams. I think I've tried to do this before. I mean, if you subscribe to my channel, you've maybe seen it before, but I've tried to do live streams before and I've said, right, this stream is only about this phone and this is all we're talking about. And all the comments are about something else. Did you see this? Did you see that? Did you see that? So it gets completely derailed. It gets derailed. So I think you're always better just, kind of doing what you want and just talking about anything. I'll need to check out that video from Colin Fuss. Oh, that's quite a lot. That's quite an old article as well. Have you seen Colin's weaponized homemade screw tank? No, I've not seen that. Yeah, I can't go to Finland because of the travel ban. Not seen my girlfriend since January the 12th. Oh, sorry, mate. That's bad. That's not ideal. Yeah. I mean, I kind of went through it myself briefly. Like, there was a point, when this ban first came out, I wasn't living with my wife now, my now wife. And I think there was a space of like a month or so that we couldn't technically see each other. And we did follow the rules. We didn't want to break the rules. So we didn't see each other for like a month or so, or something like that, 6 weeks. I mean, that's the best part of a year. You've been apart. It's quite hard. You forget about that during this pandemic. You forget there's a lot of people in that kind of situation where, they can't see the person that they should be with. Yeah, hopefully we're at the end of all of this though. Hopefully we're at the end of it all. I mean, when I'm reading a lot of these articles, I mean, I'm just trying to follow the rules, put on my mask, wash my hands and all that. I do think a lot of these rules and all that coming in, though, there's a lot of people slipping through the net and not getting the help that they need. It's a difficult situation. Would you recommend buying a crypto wallet for crypto? They secure and good. Yes. There's a thing in cryptocurrency that if you don't have your keys, you don't have your crypto. And what they mean by that is if your money's sitting on an exchange, and even an established exchange or service such as Coinbase, technically that is not your money, really. They could take that off you, they could close your account and you could lose all that money. So you really do have to manage your own cryptocurrency and manage the wallet or manage whatever. The safest thing to do for a wallet is to not have anything that could be hacked. So create a paper wallet or, create the code or something, put it in a safe, dig a hole, put it in somewhere no one could get and just make sure no one can access it. But the next best thing is probably a cryptocurrency wallet, I would say. Certainly, from a usability point of view as well, as far as you plug into your computer and then you transfer files, and make sure you use two-factor authentication everywhere. But just be careful. Cryptocurrency is still not there though, as far as being user-friendly in that regard, I would say. I don't believe in it, to be honest, and I got a reason behind it. I know someone who had cancer for 4 years. What? I don't believe in it? Oh, you talk about the pandemic. I had cancer for 4 years before the coronavirus thing came around, and he was not going to last 3 months. He died, and they said it was corona. I don't think it's just fear. I don't believe that's what's happened. No one really wanted the world economy to shut down. I don't think that's right. But I would agree with you that governments and people in control would, they use situations like this either to make money or to, kind of increase the control they have and things like that. I don't know. I'm just trying to be safe, protect the people that I care about, and protect strangers on the street, and just wear my mask and just try to be a good person about it. Well, that's what I'm trying to do. Lewis, video calls have helped. The good is that Finland was on the travel corridor of countries we can visit for the first time. Hopefully it'll be the same after the lockdown. Yeah, they're changing that so quickly though, aren't they? We booked a trip, we booked flights from Malta, and it was the lowest rates in Europe. And within about 3 weeks, I think it was in August, they went to like one of the highest rates in Europe. So they're changing things all the time, and it's hard to feel confident booking a flight right now, knowing that it could be cancelled at any time. Yeah, there's a lot of different wallets in the market, Dai. I mean, I don't know where your keys are, how it's protected just now. I don't know how much crypto you've got and things like that. Really, you'd want the bulk of your money in, like 80, 90%, or depending on how much you've got. You want it something secure, something no one can get, and something that you can't lose either. But I mean, I think most of the people that are active traders keep a small percentage on exchanges and services just so that they can use the money. Read up about it, though. I'm not trying to give financial advice or anything like that on this, but I think with cryptocurrency, because of the nature of it, you really do need to be careful and know what you're doing and take precautions. But it's funny, obviously everyone's getting back into it now that Bitcoin's nearly $20,000 again. So yeah, we're going to see a lot more questions. We're going to see a lot more cryptocurrency. I actually got offered the ones, actually. I got offered a wallet a few weeks ago to review it, and I've just realised I've not replied to the guy. I probably should have. I probably should reply to that guy soon. Yeah, coronavirus is definitely a real thing. Like my wife works at the hospital, so I'm hearing all the scare stories every day from her as well. People fit and healthy who have died and stuff. So it is serious, and I do recognise governments have got a difficult job as well. But I think a lot of people are kind of slipping through the net as far as people feeling isolated, people who are on their own. Even my mum now lives on her own stuff as well, and it's hard. But yeah, so as far as what I've got coming, I'll be trying to review this in a few days. And I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to go outside. I just cannot be bothered to go out in the cold and do all these audio tests with this. But I'll do a couple of audio tests in the house when I review this. I'll be getting that capture card. I'm going to get a monitor arm. I'm still looking at hard drives though. And I'm still looking at NAS drives, and I'm still looking at expanding my PC setup. It's hard though because you get to a point with your PC and you're like, right, I can't really upgrade the CPU that much. I need to get a new motherboard bundle. So I need to get a new motherboard, and then you need to get a new CPU. And then you start thinking, well, I should really get a new case for it as well. It might not fit the right dimensions. Then you're like, right, now I'm spending a lot of money. So that's kind of the rabbit hole that I'm going down now. But what I think I'll maybe do is sort out storage over the next month, buy some more hard drives for storage, and get a few extra components. And then next year, it's new case, new motherboard, new CPU, get a new powerful system. And I can just transfer over the memory, the hard drives, and transfer over most of the things and just sell the components that I don't use anymore. I think that's the best way to do it. I'd rather sell them in between. Yeah, I'm still looking at those dads. Unfortunately, the Synology, I mean, I've been watching this every day. I've not checked this today, actually, but I've been trying to see if Synology are coming out in the sale. I've not seen any in the Black Friday sale yet, because I've been reluctant to buy one. I've been reluctant to buy a Synology because I know as soon as I order one, it'll be like 2 days later, it'll be on sale. And I'm like, damn. So I've been waiting to see if they've got one. Well, I'll say, like, from the Western Digital ones I've seen, I mean, I've looked at video reviews. I'm quite, don't know what's the word, I don't know what you say, OCD, but I'm quite thorough. Whenever I look into things like this, I don't just spur of the moment buy it like I would a silly t-shirt or anything like that. I kind of do a bit of research. And I looked into it, and Western Digital, the hard drives that they use, obviously maybe not as good as Seagate's, the Seagate Iron Wolf. But really the limiting factors for these kind of ones is the software and how it's all set up. What I did see, there's a website called NAS Compares, I think it's called. I think it's a YouTube channel as well. In fact, it is a YouTube channel, but he's got the website as well. And I remember reading about it, and he answers a lot of questions on his website. So if you're looking about a NAS, I'll leave a link to this. This guy's good. He's got a good YouTube channel. And yeah, so he's got a good YouTube channel, and he's got a website about it as well. But one of the comments he said that kind of stuck in my mind was that he said that TerraMaster, I think they're a Chinese company or something, but they kind of came from nowhere. And what he said was they've basically in 2 years got to where QNAP and Synology took 10 years to get to. They've kind of accelerated their development. But he said Synology are still the best one for software, kind of saying what Daz was saying. Are you still gaming? Have you considered a PS5? Do you know stream on Twitch? Yes. Well, I don't have a PS5, and I've decided not to get one, at least not just now. I'm going to get the new Xbox Series X. Now, it's got nothing. I've been in camp PlayStation for decades now. I've had the PlayStation, I've got the PlayStation. The PlayStation 1's the one console I didn't have because it was out of stock when I went to the shop to buy it. Because I remember I got one, I think it was when I was working at the swimming pool. That was my first job outside of school and during university. Worked at the sports centre. And I remember I got like a big wage and I was going to buy the PlayStation and I ended up getting a Saturn, which I never regret. The Sega Saturn was great. But I bought the PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4. But all my friends, all the guys that I play games with, they're all on Xbox. So I'll be going with the Xbox. As far as streaming and stuff like that though, for those of you who don't know, I have another YouTube channel called Kev's Gaming Channel. I thought about that for about 3 seconds. That's how long it took me to think about the name of that channel. And if I show you this, you can see, forget this here. If I show you this, you can see that I've got here, Call of Duty. So this is kind of what I mostly play with friends and stuff like that. I've got Call of Duty. I've got the new Black Ops. So I'm probably going to try and stream. I don't know if I'll stream tonight. If I don't stream tonight, maybe tomorrow. But I'm going to stream Cold War because I've not played it. I'm looking for an excuse to play it, get some time to play it. So I'm going to stream to my gaming channel maybe tonight. Yeah, hopefully tonight, if not tomorrow night. I'm going to stream playing Black Ops. But I normally play Warzone, Modern Warfare, or Black Ops, Call of Duty with my friends. That's the main game that we're playing. Code 2. Someone get the net. Someone get the net. I don't stream on Twitch. So what I will say, I've not talked about this on my channel. So as far as streaming to Twitch goes, I'll get this up. As far as streaming goes, most gamers, I guess, stream on Twitch, but I like streaming on YouTube because the videos are stored there afterwards, and you can build up a subscriber base and all that. I don't know. I'm just kind of tied into the YouTube world as well. I do have a Twitch channel. I just never update it ever. But what I was doing before last year, about a year ago, was I was using this service, Restream. Now, I paid about $400, $500 so that it allows me to multi-stream. And what it means is you can stream and that one video goes to Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, all at the one time, which in principle is great. And when it worked, the service was great. But about March, April this year, I stopped using it because I was doing a stream on this channel and I did a stream in the gaming channel. Wasn't working at all. There was all this buffering and they kept saying, oh, it's YouTube's fault. It wasn't. I did a stream a few days later. YouTube was fine. It was always restreaming their servers and it wasn't working. Now, I'm not saying this to crap on them, but this came into a problem about a month or so ago because they charged me about $500 again without even telling me. And they sent an email saying, we've charged you $500. I'm like, my last conversation with you was, I'm not using the service anymore because it doesn't work. So I had to then get a refund from them, arguing with them on the chat box, and I had to phone my bank and all that as well. Sorry, there. I'm not telling people not to use this service. I'm just saying my experience with them was it was very problematic as far as reliability goes, and their service, customer service, kind of frustrated me at the end when it came to they just charged me without even giving. They didn't even send an email saying we will be charging you 2 weeks. In 2 weeks to charge your card. I didn't even know that they had my card details. That's because I hadn't checked it in like a year. So I guess that's on me, but still, they should have emailed me before they took off such a payment. So anyway, that was my last experience with streaming with Twitch. Going with AMD this year, you can multi-stream with them for free. What were they charging you? You can do it for free, but their free service, I think, is only, I don't know if it's like a certain resolution, only one channel. I was doing it to multiple channels, Twitter and YouTube and Facebook and all that as well. I wouldn't really want to, like, my experience, I'll be honest, I have been a little bit soured with my experience with them, just given that they charged me and given that they put up such a fight about it, like they initially said, no, you're not getting a refund. And I was like, well, I'm phoning my bank. And then they did refund me. But that's kind of left a sour note on me. And that's why I really don't want to use them anymore. But anyway, going back to Ultra's comment, going with AMD this year. I actually had a conversation about this today with my friend Mark. And I was telling him about, I was looking at capture cards. I was looking at upgrading my PC and all that. And I told him that one of the CPUs that I've been looking at is the 5950X, which seems to be out of stock everywhere. It will hopefully be about 750, 800 pounds when it's out. I saw some reviews of this. I don't stay in touch with this type of stuff that often. And I spoke to my friend about that. Like when I need to buy something, this is kind of the way that I do it. I keep in touch with phones and crypto and a few other things, but with regards to computing stuff, I kind of delve deep into it when I need something. So soon I will need a new CPU and a new motherboard, hopefully in a few months. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I just want to get something more powerful. And I will gorge myself in reviews and comparisons, and I'll find out the best setup for me. But I've started looking at it just now, just to familiarise myself with it. And the 5950X is certainly one of the CPUs that's grabbed my attention because, one of the reviews I saw said that this is a 16-core CPU, but this was smashing the 32-core Threadripper, which is pretty impressive. And this, it doesn't have integrated graphics, but for gaming, this is apparently great when you match it with a GPU. Now, I asked my friend about Threadrippers because they're really comparing this to the last generation or the current generation of Threadripper, but they will be releasing a new generation of the Threadripper. Was it 3 months, 4 months? I don't know. I think around that. But it's one of those things where I could get a Threadripper CPU where it's got more cores and it's better for video editing and things like that. But I think an all-round CPU would be good for me because it means that theoretically, what people have said is that if you get a 3090 or a 3080, you can game and stream on the one PC, which simplifies a lot of things. Right now I need to stream through my gaming laptop. I need to play games on my gaming laptop, and then that streams through this PC. So I've got a 2 PC setup. But in theory, if I get the new CPU and I get a good graphics card from the 30 series or 3 series, what are they calling it? 3000 series, 30 series. But if I get that, I should, in theory, be able to stream from the one PC. Apparently, I've not tried any of this, but as far as going with AMD, certainly right now, as we speak, end of November 2020, AMD seem to be the best one to go for as far as bang for your buck right now. No problem, Daz. Thanks for dropping by today. Cheers, mate. Hopefully I'll speak to you soon. Thanks again for the help with Synology. You've definitely kind of helped me clarify my thoughts on it. AMD is the best for streaming. Well, I think that's a broad statement, no, Ultra. I think that's a broad statement because maybe Threadrippers are better in some situations, and I don't know. It depends. You really should, if you say this is the best for streaming, you should really say this chip is better than that chip for streaming, because you've got a lot of chips in the Intel world. You've got the extreme chips, you've got the 9900K and all that. It depends which one you're comparing to which, and that's why I never fall into this whole Apple's better, Windows is better, all that kind of stuff. It really does depend on the product and the application and all that. So you really do have to narrow down what you're comparing. Cheers, Daz. Yeah, I've seen things like that as well, Ultra, where it says that it handles memory a little bit better as well. I'm not an expert on the subject, if I'm honest. I've been a mini expert for a brief period of time. Like when I built my PC before years ago, it's about 3 years old or something like that now. In fact, it's about 3 years old. So when I built that about 3 years ago, I think I was using an iMac before that, 27-inch iMac. But before I built this PC again, I was reading a lot of reviews and I was trying to see how much to spend and all that. So I was very knowledgeable about what was there in the market, but I've not really been following it that much. Not really. Beyond the odd review or the odd news story. But yes, that is something I'll do in the future. But saying that, like, the thing is, I don't know, like moving forward, I don't know whether I should try and focus more on computing things as well. It's hard though, because I like talking about smartphones. It's something that does interest me. But I'm sick of the whole rat race with smartphone videos as well. Whereas computing videos, maybe they stand the test of time better, I don't know. But I'm sick of the whole rat race with smartphones where, you know, YouTubers get, you know, they get their phones a week before they come out, they do their videos, and then you can't get any rankings, so it's just a waste of time. I don't want to have to always do videos about what's the latest product. It gets annoying having to do that. I'd rather talk about something that interests me and talk about the products that interest me, and that changes over time. But we'll see what happens. I will be spending money at one point. I'm always spending money, but I will be spending money on my computer at one point. I definitely think I'm at the point where I want to get better performance. I guess my 8700K and stuff, that still has value. If someone, you know, I'll be able to sell it on eBay and stuff. But yeah. So guys, I think AMD is storming ahead now with price to performance. Yeah. I mean, I don't follow, as I said, I don't follow it too much, but my friend Mark follows it a lot, and he was saying how the current generation of AMD, the 5000, is just smashing it out of the park, and he was saying how Intel are just miles behind now. So, I mean, I don't know how quickly these things change or how quickly Intel will rebound when they come out with their new chips. I think it's good though. I think it's good, and you know, looking at history, I think it's safe to say that Intel abused their position of being the only real player in the market for a few years, and AMD not really being there. So they were able to start pushing the prices up and not really deliver as much as they should have delivered. So as a consumer, I like the fact that AMD are doing well, because hopefully it means that Intel will step up. And I like the fact that Apple come out with their M1 chip. Really, I mean, I have got no favourites in this race. If AMD or Apple or Intel start, you know, pushing each other, and then one company is doing it cheaper and better, that's the company I'll go with. I really don't understand the fanboy aspect of all of it, but I think, yeah, AMD staying ahead is good. Apple come out with the M1, maybe doesn't affect the whole AMD versus Intel thing at the higher end, but it's good. It's good that the M1 is out, and it's good that it's kind of, you know, pushing boundaries in a few areas as well. You know, at the end of the day, is, you know, it's bizarre that people will say I'm an AMD guy or I'm an Intel guy. You're talking about silicon. You're talking about chips, sand on a chip that's in a computer that you can't even see the stuff when the case is closed. I mean, it's irrelevant, really. NVIDIA 3000 series are storming ahead with price to performance. Yeah, but that's the good thing as well, David. I mean, you know, it's kind of like we see this all the time, and maybe AMD will start moving ahead with their GPUs. AMD have definitely, from a graphics card point of view, have been behind for a few years. Even when they've come out with something good, they've not really been there. I'd like to see AMD being in more laptops and stuff like that. They seem to have like the lower end Ryzen, like 2700U and things like that. They've got that in laptops, but they don't have any of the higher end CPUs for laptops. Yeah, the 3070 and 3080 seem like the best bet. The 3090 just seems crazy money, crazy money. I use Intel, but I prefer AMD now. Sorry, I prefer AMD now because of how good the performance is. Yeah, I honestly don't have any. I will just sell myself to the highest bidder. You give me good performance, you give me a good price, I will sell myself to you. That's how I look at it. I mean, that's how I don't understand the whole Apple, Android, Sony, Xbox, AMD, Intel thing. It's like, I don't know. I don't know if that's just something created by media and news companies and stuff. But yeah, it's good that AMD are doing well. It's good that NVIDIA are doing well, giving you better value for money. But hopefully AMD will come back as well. What I want is just cheap computing for everyone. You know, that we're not having. I mean, I'd like the fact, I'd like if everyone could get a fantastic PC and we wouldn't have to spend thousands upon thousands to get what we want, like what experience we want. So what's the 3060 Ti? That's obviously is that going to be sitting between the 3060 and 3070? The Bulldozer Series FX 6300, it was terrible. The Vega 64, I remember that card. I nearly bought a few of those myself. FX 8300. It's been, I mean, again, I've really not been following what's been happening in the AMD graphics card world. AMD 6000. I mean, one of the things I'm curious about is, see, which of the 30 series NVIDIA cards has got 3 slots? Is it only a 3090, or do some of the other cards have 3? Are they 3 PCI Express slots as well? Because I'm not sure if that's going to change what style of motherboards we get and things like that as well. But then people are going to have to change cases and all that. Same thing with Apple and Android. I've got an iPhone 11, but I like Androids purely because it's open source. My iPhone is jailbroken. The thing is, I'm all for jailbreaking. I'm all for rooting your phone. I think, you know, as long as you're not stealing software and stuff like that, I don't see why it shouldn't be illegal. But the frustrating thing, like banking apps and all that don't work for it, because I rooted one of my older Android phones, and then all of a sudden I couldn't use my banking apps. It was like, your phone is not working, you have to make sure it's got the official version. So I couldn't do anything with it, so I had to put it back to the way it was. A little bit annoying, but that's, you know, kind of the way that it's set up. I got sued for AMD got sued for that chip. It's a 3-core, 3 threads, 3-core, 3 threads, but they mark it as a 6-core. Yeah, that's very misleading. 4-core chip, although 8-core was shared cache. Third-party versions with 3 slots as well. I mean, I don't know if that's the way it's going. I mean, can you guys remember what graphics cards were like in the late 90s? It was like one tiny little card that was like that size. It was tiny. It was like the size of an audio card now. And now the things are like huge, and you have to, you know, put in all-in-one cooling and all this. I mean, I saw that with some of the GPUs and even some of the CPUs. They're like, you cannot use a regular CPU cooler. You're going to have to go water cooling, or you're going to have to get a really good all-in-one cooler just to make the CPU work right. There's third-party versions with 3 slots. Are used for customization. There's bypasses for root and jailbreak. You just disable the substrat. All right, okay. It's been a long time since I've did it. I mean, I jailbroke my phone a lot when Android first came out. But then when I went back to it and I had problems with my apps, I just thought, you know what, it's not worth the hassle. Yeah, I realised there's going to be a big community around that. There are certain things, I think, still, even now with an Android phone, that you still have to root it for, I believe, and certainly with Apple. Yeah, I've not found any myself, actually. That's why I kind of had this debate a few weeks ago, actually. You see, where is this? So I had this debate because I was quite slow. I thought, you know what, I don't care about having it on, you know, launch date. I'll just get it when I see one. But I had this debate a few weeks ago when Black Ops came out. So my friends were all playing Black Ops because they're on Xbox One, but they're going to get the new version, but they got the bundle price, so they could pay an extra £10 and they've got it in Xbox 360, Xbox One and Xbox Series X. They just pay an extra tenner and they can have the game on both systems. But I'm on PC and I can't just transfer it to the Xbox. So I was like, right, I'll get it on Xbox Series X in a few weeks. There's no point in me buying the game twice. And then all my friends were playing that night, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to buy it. So I spent, what was it, £46 or something to buy it, which means I might have to end up buying that game twice if I do want to continue playing it. But it's weird, they do all these bundles like PS4 to PS5 so that anyone who's got that system are upgrading to the same system. But they've kind of limited it. They didn't have it where if you're the same user in the same Activision account, you couldn't just upgrade to, you know, if you're a PS4 user and you want to upgrade to the Xbox Series X, you couldn't do that. You'd have to buy it twice. It's only if you stay within the same ecosystem, the same platform, that you can get that upgrade bundle. No worries, Ultra. Speak to you soon. Ray tracing looks amazing in these new games. It's coming to AMD. Have I got a Discord server? No, I don't, Kirst. Someone asked that the other day, actually, in the live stream. Can I ask why you're asking? I never asked this the other day, but can I ask, like, is this about people from my channel chatting with each other? The reason I don't have a Discord channel is simply because of the hassle of maintaining it. I've ran discussion forums for years, and you do, I'm not going to say waste a lot of time, but certainly from an administration point of view, you're always, I don't know, you're always kind of managing people fighting with each other, and you have to, you know, it's just an extra thing to worry about. And I wouldn't want it to be an absolute free-for-all with, you know, if anyone was, I guess you can remove a lot of this with the moderators and things like that as well. Maybe it's something I need to revisit. If there was a big interest for this kind of thing, maybe I could do it. I know a lot of YouTubers do it now, where they, you know, for the monthly membership fee, you get access to a Discord server. I don't know if I'd want to go down that route, but I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. On that, it's just something else I didn't want to do because I don't know. I'm imagining the worst case scenario of me not checking in and then going in, it's just anarchy. But Digital Foundry compared, oh sorry, yeah, the ray trace shadows look incredible in the new Black Ops. Yeah, I've not noticed that. I mean, I've got, is ray tracing on the 2080, the laptop version? I mean, I've got my, can I get this for you? Oh, yeah, so this is, can I get it in the shot? Can I get it in the shot without dying? This is my Alienware. I can't get it in the shot here without things falling. But this is my Alienware laptop, but I can't really show you right now. In fact, I can show you if I activate something. I really did not think that went through. I really did not think that went through, but I'll set up that webcam. I should be able to show you. But yeah, I've got my Alienware laptop. It's a 2080. I think that's got ray tracing, but my 1080 Ti doesn't. I prefer Modern Warfare over Cold War. Yeah, I'd probably say the same, Kirst. I'd probably say the same. Digital Foundry compared Xbox Series X to PS5, and Series X keeps constant 60 frames per second. PS5 couldn't keep up, but was mostly fine. That's actually quite surprising, David, because the PS5 is like twice the size. Is it got better cooling? Is that why it's larger? Also, so we can stay up to date with your videos, because I do like your content, but I forget the notifications. Plus, it's great to get more advice from people, get more of a... Yeah, no, thanks, Kirst. I do appreciate it. And I do take the suggestion on board. I'm not saying I would never have a Discord server. It's just not something that I'd really thought about. You know, I had people asking about this before in the past and all that. But if there was people... Maybe I should think about it. I guess my reluctance is to open one and everyone starts hanging out, and then I decide I don't have time for it, or it's too much, you know, moderation or whatever, and then I'd feel bad for cancelling it, and then people don't have a place to hang out or something. I don't know. No, it's good. I mean, it would be good. It would be good to, you know, get to know people more. I'll think about this more. I will think about that. I will give some thought to it, and I'll look into it more about how it all works, etc. I know how Discord works. I've used it for years, but yeah, I'll think about that. But I'm going to call it quits to that, guys, because it's been an hour and a half, which is normally when I should take a break. And I'll maybe be on later tonight to play on my other gaming channel, and maybe if I've got time, I'll maybe play Black Ops for half an hour or an hour. I don't know. I need to take a break for a while first, though. But if I'm not gaming on that channel tonight, I'll definitely do it tomorrow. I'll play some Black Ops badly. I'm only at like level 16 or something, so I really do need to level up my guns and all that. PS5 has a higher clock rate but fewer compute units, which makes all the difference. PS5 being reported to run very hot, produce graphical glitching. Do you think that's a software issue though that will get fixed with a firmware update? I'm surprised, given the size of the PS5, I just assumed it would have better cooling. I don't know. But anyway, guys, I'm going to call it quits to that. Many thanks to everyone who watched. Many thanks to everyone who commented. I do appreciate it. It's not something I take for granted. I'll have a think about the Discord thing. I don't know if any of you guys, I know some of you by the sounds of it do like gaming. So if you check my channel down the side, you'll see a thing saying Kev's Gaming Channel. I will stream there at one point. And I'm trying to stream more often simply because it gives me an excuse to stream, which when you get over 40, you kind of need an excuse because you're being lazy, you're not being productive. So I'm going to try and play Black Ops either tonight or tomorrow. So if you follow me there, you'll maybe see me streaming there. But thanks again, guys. I'll speak to you all soon. I will review this mic and review a few other things in the future. Could be software, but they've had to increase the clock speed. I've not really been. I've been chatting to a friend. One of my friends got both of them, PS5 and the Xbox Series X, and he's been telling me what he likes and all that. But I've not really been following the comparisons that much, not as much as I should. But right, guys, thanks for that. Thanks again. I do appreciate it, and thanks for all the support at the start of the stream. I did try and stream in 4K. It was a disaster. It didn't work well, but I got there in the end. I got it working. So thanks for sticking with me. I'll speak to you all very soon, guys. Cheers.